Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So this is going to be kind of like a ready or not guide, I suppose. I believe the game's going to be released on Steam Early Access within the next couple weeks, or maybe even sooner. I know they said something about the end of the month. Either way, I got a bunch of friends that are going to get the game, and they've been watching my streams, they've been watching my videos, so they kind of have an idea. But I mean, there's going to be a lot of new players coming in, and I don't know how many guides are out there right now. I don't believe there are very many, but this isn't something that I normally do. I kind of just like to do gameplay. I like to keep it like immersive type videos, and so this isn't something that I normally do. However, if you are getting into Ready or Not and maybe there's some things that you're unsure of, or you know, there's a lot of controls in the game, I would like to help you guys out a little bit. But we're not going to go into extreme detail. There's probably some guides out there that actually go into depth that are very well edited. This is going to be short and simple and to the point. I would like to get to some tactical sides of things towards the end. However, if this is something that people would like to see, I would like to go more in depth with tactical type stuff like room clearing. I think that would be awesome. I'd love to do that. Either way, though, one of the first things I believe is important to go over, and obviously this isn't any particular order as far as importance, but this is just something that I learned. One of the first things I learned that I had no idea was in the game, and I was glad somebody told me, because there is no sprint in Ready or Not, and I'm glad there isn't, because it's a tactical game, and we don't need that in a tactical shooter like this. Either way, so there's a low ready, and this is default bound to your home key, and you can rebind this to, if you go to options, controls, over to interaction, toggle low ready here. It's default home. I have it to my thumb mouse button number 2. Thumb mouse button number 1 is my tactical light, and the reason this is so important is you actually move quicker when you're in low ready. Now obviously, depending on the armor, you're going to move a little bit quicker, but it's kind of like a sprint, and it's like a placeholder as a sprint. Like I said, I don't think there should be a sprint in the game. Either way, it also helps so you don't flag your teammates. I guess it just depends on how often you want to hit that, but I mean, you know, muzzle discipline and I guess trigger discipline is important as well. One other thing I believe is important with Ready or Not is the ability to drop Chemlights. Out. Now, not only is this good for illuminating an area that might be too dark, if, you know, maybe you don't want to use your tac light, or you don't want to use night vision, you don't have night vision, you don't have a tac light, you can drop that on the ground and it'll help illuminate. It'll also help illuminate if you're using a mirror gun underneath a door. It'll illuminate underneath the door to be able to see some kind of dark rooms or dark closets or whatever it is. But the reason this actually exists, and they use this in real life, is when you clear a room. Let's say we just got done clearing this room, we downed a target or a suspect, we would pop that chem light down, and that would kind of give us a guide. So if we ever came back through this door, or like if we got lost and we came back through the structure here, we'd be able to tell that we already cleared these areas. Now, obviously, if you get really familiar with the map, it's not as important. However, I feel like it's something people should get used to if you want to be tactical, because if you have two separate teams flowing into a building, you'll be able to know, okay, hey, Bravo team cleared this already, so now my team doesn't need to go back through there and check any of that. So it's important to drop these down wherever you're clearing your areas. The next thing I'd like to bring up is there's obviously the lean. I have mine on toggle, but there's actually a more intricate type of lean called the Freelean, where if you hold Alt, I believe Alt is default. I'm not 100% sure, but you'd have to check it out in the controls. But this is like a free lean that has a bunch of different motions. Now, normally what I do is I just do the quick Alt and then hold my D key, and I just swing right over. I just kind of try to get a tight angle. Sometimes it's a wide angle. The reason I love this so much is if there is a target and he starts shooting, I can instantly spring back. Whereas, I mean, this is about the same speed, but this is faster. This is much faster. I don't think it's supposed to be that fast. I think it's kind of cheesy. But it's also cool because you can kind of just, you know, you can free move, you can crouch down. It's a good thing to have. One other cool feature that is obviously definitely worth mentioning, not only good for playing with the AI, but more or less the co-op, is if you hit T, you can bring up their helmet cameras, and this allows you to see what they're seeing currently. And this is especially good like if you're clearing a structure with 2 teams, so you got a 1 team of 3, 1 team of 2, or team of 2, and you're moving through Alpha Bravo or Blue Red, whatever you want to call them, right? You're moving through and you're able to pop that up real quick and see, okay, that's where the guy is. Okay, where's my other guy? I can hit T again and I can see this other helmet camera, then this guy, and then I can hold it and then close it and I can bring it up again. I just hit T again and it's as easy as that. Now obviously I wouldn't recommend keeping it up on your screen all the time because that does run down your FPS. I hope they tweak that a little bit, but it's really just there to kind of get an idea where everybody is, and just open it up real quick and then close it. Depending on where you are and depending on what the map is, sometimes you might be able to get away with playing with it on, but from my experience I feel like it's one of those things where I'm so used to, like, because I got a 160 hertz monitor and I'm running this game at max, right? So having that up on my screen all the time is definitely detrimental to the performance of my aim and everything. So, but it's a cool thing you can do. Okay, so we're gonna have a trap on this door. Now this is a good example of, well, I guess it wouldn't be a good example, but sometimes you can't see these wires. I guess sometimes they blend in and you don't notice it, but you'll see some ordnance on the door, as well as maybe like an RGD5 grenade or whatever this is. And the way this works is normally it's going to be behind a door that's locked and they're trying to get you, right? You battering ram it, it blows up, you kill 1 guy, 2 guys, however many is stacked up on the door, right? Now obviously sometimes there will be traps and you might not notice them when you're scanning the room, or it's glitched. I swear to God, sometimes they're glitched and I can't tell that they're rigged. So what I always do is I unlock the door. Now obviously this suspect that's inside to my left can hear me, and there's a chance that he can shoot through the door, and he's literally right to the left, so I have to be extremely careful. I'm gonna go up to this wire here. See, it's constricting the wire, but it's not enough to set it off. So I'm always cracking this door open rather than full swinging it and checking for that wire, and then right when I get that wire I either close the door, come up with a plan, or leave the door cracked, pop a bang. I can hear him. Reaching clear.
Hands up. Suspect killed.
And if you didn't notice there, he did pull a gun. He put his hands up for like a split second and then he pulled a gun, so I dropped him. Okay, so sometimes dealing with individuals doesn't have to be a suspect, it can just be civilians as well. If they're uncompliant, you're authorized to use less lethals like a taser, which, I mean, obviously in the real world you're not going to always use a taser or a beanbag shotgun or a pepper ball gun, but the beanbag, pepper ball, and taser are all viable solutions. Normally, I'm going to use these weapons against individuals who have firearms, and I'm going to try to get them not to shoot and hit them repeatedly with the pepper ball or the beanbag or a taser and get them to comply rather than shooting them, you know, to get that S rank, which I don't really care for that. I do like the gunfights, but if I did want to get the S rank, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Negative. So, drop the okay, he's got a shotgun. No. He's complying. So he was about to shoot me. You saw how he was gonna point. So he's complying now, and he didn't pull a second weapon, thank God. So I'm gonna take that weapon from him. And then we're gonna go ahead and get him in cuffs. So obviously I believe a beanbag shotgun's gonna be more practical than a taser, but it wouldn't be bad if you want to have like a rifle and then have a taser as a secondary just in case. While we're on the topic of obviously, you know, using this type of equipment, flashbangs, stinger grenades, gas, these all serve a purpose, and you get 8 of them, so you should utilize them. While I'm clearing this house here, I am gonna use flashbangs. Yeah, I've got this individual complying.
Make him secure.
So you could just pie the corner and get him into view, and he might aimbot you and shoot you. So to be safe, I do like to utilize my flashbangs more than I probably should, but we all have 8 flashbangs. So there's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't utilize them. Now, I know there can be an argument of, well, that's not how SWAT teams normally operate, because you have to visualize where you're throwing the flashbang before you can do that. I guess it's like it needs to be an authorized use of a flashbang, I guess, right? Now, if you're talking about like a raid, like a drug house or something, like what we're dealing with, I think that falls within the realm of being authorized, but I could be wrong. So use your utility, use your flashbangs, use your stingers, use your smoke. They all basically do the same thing. They force compliance. Okay, so this is actually something that I literally just learned about. I guess you can breach multiple contact points, or multiple, I don't know why I say it like that, multiple doors with multiple different C2 charges. And I guess the way you can do that is by pulling it out. Okay, it worked that time. It was being glitchy. That's so weird. Okay, so I've got 2 different charges on 2 different doors, and I've got my receiver, and I believe you can even do more doorways as well, which is pretty fucking badass. So that's cool. So you can set that up for like multiple breach points with 2 different teams. One thing that's worth mentioning with the charges is, let's say for example there's a target on the other side of the door. Technically it would be unauthorized to blow that door open to kill that individual, or not necessarily for the sake of incapacitating them, but just for the sake that they're so close to the door that you want to get them away from that door. Sometimes, and as far as I'm concerned, most of the time when that door blows up, they go down because the door fucking smashes them. However, I guess you don't lose points when you blow the door off the hinges and it downs them. So, I mean, I guess that's always a tactic. Now, you do need to be careful if you're blowing a door open and you've got a suspect and you've got a bunch of hostages. You know, you don't want to have that door hitting anybody else except for the suspect, right? So, okay, so now we got another tool here that I just started recently using, and the more I play with my teams, I'm going to start using it more often because it can be viable, and it does use up a little bit of time, but not really. It's really a tactical, it gives you a tactical edge, and that's going to be the door wedges. Now obviously, you know, the pepper spray and the C2, that's way more badass. However, you know, sometimes you gotta be that guy. You gotta take that one role that nobody else wants to do. Now what you can do is you can go up to the door here and you can deploy your door wedge here in the bottom left hand corner, sometimes the bottom right. I believe it has to be where the knob is, or the locking mechanism, or whatever the door swings, right? You can place that down. Have the suspects as subjects or whoever, they won't be able to come through that door. Now, if you need to come around and use this entry point once again, you can come up to it and you can hit a left mouse button and you can remove that wedge, and you actually retain that wedge to use it on other doors. That's going to be the end for this one, boys. I appreciate you guys sticking around till the end. Really enjoying Ready or Not. I'm hoping to have some more content. I've got some more ideas brewing here. I actually been trying to work on getting like a tactical realism military sim or SWAT sim group going here. It's a work in progress, but I think it's going to be great for content. So we're going to be working on that, and we got some other like Tarkov coming in. We're going to be doing some more SP Tarkov stuff like that too. I got the new 12-12 wipe. So we got an exciting month ahead of us coming into this next year here. Either way, I hope you guys are enjoying Ready or Not. I'm excited to see what this game is going to bring, and I'll see you guys in the next video.